Welcome to part 2 of our IRA series. If you haven't watched our previous video where we give a brief overview on IRA prevailing wage, we highly recommend doing so. Today, we'll be going over how to find your IRA prevailing wage decision. Before identifying which wage determination you'll need for your project, it's important to note if you have additional tax credits or incentives that are applicable to your project. The prevailing wage and apprenticeship requirements generally apply to 1. Qualifying facilities, where 2. Construction begins 60 days or more after the U.S. Department of Treasury and the Internal Revenue Service publish guidance on those requirements. Here's a list of some examples of qualifying facilities. The IRA Apprenticeship and Prevailing Wage Provision Guidance was published on November 30th, 2022. January 29th, 2023 is the date following 60 days after the guidance was published, meaning any facility or project where construction begins on or after this date must meet the prevailing wage and apprenticeship requirements to receive tax credits or incentives under the IRA. To determine the beginning of construction on your project, there are 2 main methods: the physical work test and the 5% safe harbor. A facility completes the physical work test once physical work of a significant nature has started on site. Construction should be continuous from that point forward, and there is not a fixed amount of work or monetary threshold. Work of a significant nature is further defined under the IRS guidance. Under the 5% safe harbor, a taxpayer may qualify once they've incurred 5% or more of the total cost of the project. Construction must also be continuous once started. In short, the beginning of construction may have occurred if work of a significant nature has begun or if a minimum 5% of the total cost of the project has incurred. In both cases, the continuity safe harbor is employed and allows for the continuity requirement for either method to be met if the construction is completed within a certain time frame. Now that you've found the beginning of construction for your project and have decided if it's within the time frame of tax credit applicability, you now can find your wage determination. A wage determination is a listing of wage rates and fringe benefit rates for each labor category of workers. Per the IRA, federal wage determination rates are utilized and should be paid out to employees to qualify for a tax credit or incentive. First, you would go to the wage determinations page on sam.gov. Next, you would click Public Building or Works. Then, select the Construction DBA option and indicate the applicable state, county, and DBA construction type for the project. There are 4 different project types to choose from. Be sure to choose the correct one according to the type of work occurring on your project. Once you've inputted all the correct information for your project, wage determination options should appear. Your wage determination may have multiple modifications, so be sure to select the correct modification by viewing the publication date. The correct wage determination will be the one in effect at the time a taxpayer enters into the prime contract with their prime contractor. This may also be known as the negotiated contract date. If the work is being performed by the taxpayer themselves, then the wage determination and modification at the time work started is applicable. For example, if a heavy project in San Diego County, California, had a negotiated contract date of January 10th, 2023, the appropriate modification to select would be Modification 0. This was the modification in effect at the time of the negotiated contract date, as Modification 1 was published several days after. As for the amount that gets paid to the employees, you'd first have to find the craft or classification that you intend to utilize on your project. You may do so by looking at the type of scope of work being performed by your employees. You would then use the craft that best matches the scope of work being performed. If none of the crafts listed on your wage determination seem to be applicable, you may submit a request for a proposed classification to be verified at the Department of Labor, Wage and Hour Division via email at iraprevailingwage@dol.gov. In this email, you would provide the type of facility being constructed, the location, proposed classifications, and prevailing wage rates, along with job descriptions and duties, and any rationale for your proposed classifications. Be sure to specify whether your locality is missing the whole determination or if an entirely new classification is required for your employees. The DOL would then reach out with the applicable determination and prevailing wage rates. Be sure to keep this within your records as part of the IRA record-keeping requirements. After obtaining your correct classification and its corresponding rate, You will have a base hourly rate and fringe payment to be paid to your employees. The taxpayer's responsibility is to ensure that the correct total hourly rate is paid out to all employees, which is the sum of the base rate and fringes. Be sure to check for any footnotes or possible additions within the wage determination. And with that, you found the beginning of construction for your project and the applicable wage determination.
Thank you for watching this video. If you need further help or have prevailing wage questions, feel free to give us a call or reach out to us through our website. You can also follow us on our social media platforms for any future updates. Here at Alliant, we'll help you get compliant.